guys, this is Kayla.
And I'm Becky, and we're with a couple of bees to read.
And we also drink wine. So today is our weekly wine. What's the wine for the week, Becky?
Well, today I chose a Pinot Grigio. I have a friend who loves white wine, and she was asking me for some recommendations, and I had not tried this one, so in honor of my friend Linda, I was going to try this Pinot Grigio. It's from Cafico, which is Italian for cool.
Nice.
I thought that was real interesting. It's funny how you're drinking wine and you learn all these special phrases and words from Italy and France, and so this one is Cafico. Cool.
Oh, that's really good.
It's very light.
Yes.
Light. Crisp. It's got a little bit of an apricot flavor, and again lemon. It seems lately a lot of the wines we have tried have had this lemon flavor to them, and I never thought about lemon as being something in a wine, but this is from Sicily. So probably will never get to travel back to Italy, so I have to travel through wine and books and other movies. So, and I love Italy. I think it's a beautiful country with beautiful people. I love the Italian language, and that's one of my bucket list items is I want to learn to speak Italian. So anytime I learn a new phrase, Cafico, I enjoy that. So it's great. It's a good one. I think my friend would really like this. I have to be sure she gets a bottle of it.
I'm not usually a fan of Pinot Grigio, but
I like this.
I like this. This tastes. I think the first bottle of Pinot Grigio I had just was probably really cheap.
Yeah.
And like some grocery store brand bottle. And that kind of put me off it. But this has so many layers of flavor, yet it's still very light.
It is light. And that's the other thing about this. It's not a real expensive wine, but it's not a real cheap wine. It's kind of a middle of the road price-wise. So it's something that's affordable, and yet it gives you a better quality of wine. And grapes, Pinot Grigio grapes come from grapes that had been farmed for like 16 years, and then it's soft pressed, and then it's put into the stainless steel tanks. And again, when you use stainless steel versus oak will give it a different flavor, and the stainless steel lets the authenticity of the grape itself come through. And so I wondered, I said, well, why? And I'm enjoying learning more about wine and how it's processed and what the different processes do to the wine. So if you need something cool, Cafico Pinot Grigio will be it.
And we will have the link to the Scout and Cellar page in the information below the video, so make sure to check that if you would like to drink with us next time. And the book for this week is a Grady Hendrix novel, The Final Girl Support Group. And if you follow us on Instagram, you know that I've recently become a bigger fan of Grady Hendrix. I read this book this week and How to Sell a Haunted House last week. And I've got to find more by him because these were both really good.
And I've started the How to Sell a Haunted House.
Yeah, so we'll probably review it next week.
Yeah, hopefully if I can get through it this week.
She's been very busy quilting.
Yes, lots of stuff going on, but I'm going to try.
But,
so tell us about this Final Girl Support Group.
Okay, if you are a fan of slasher movies, and I feel like we've talked about this, and you said the only one you'd seen was Halloween.
Yeah, when it first came out, I can't even remember when that was, back in the late 70s, something like that. And I went back and watched it one time, and I thought, oh, well, that's not really as crazy as I thought it was, but it got a lot crazier after that.
If you're not a fan of the slasher genre, though, I think you'll still enjoy this and that you will enjoy the characters.
Okay.
There are 5 strong female characters who are all final girls. One of them is based on Laurie from Halloween.
Oh,
And there are fictionalized versions of all the slasher movies in this book. For example, the one based on Halloween is The Babysitter Murders, which was actually the original name of the movie, and then someone decided to change the name before it came out.
I did not know that.
So this book deals with the final girls, basically from your favorite slasher movies or The Next Best Thing. They meet in a support group and they try to live life after this terrible thing that's happened to them. Most of them have survived some sort of massacre and killed, like, another thing you have to be a final girl, you have to, like, kill the bad guy who came after you. So the main character is Lynette, who was not able to kill her monster. She was saved at the last minute, as some slasher films do. And it's her kind of struggling with who she is as a person. If she does not meet the criteria of final girl, who is she? She has a lot of struggles. She's the most paranoid character I've ever read about. She has an apartment with a metal cage at the door so she could trap intruders and shoot them. She's a lot. She's a survivalist.
Okay.
She's a lot to handle.
All right.
And at first, when I was reading it, I was like, this girl might be too much for me. But then stuff actually does start to happen. And one thing Lynette points out is that all of these slasher films tend to get sequels. So in real life,
that means the bad guy has to come back. Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
or
well,
another bad guy doing the same thing.
Copycat. Yeah.
So
I'm liking that.
but that happens in the movies.
True.
So again, this is like a fictionalized account of if these movies were based on true stories.
Okay.
So most of the girls have had their killer come back, including Lynette. She had the same thing happen again after the first time, was saved again. And the one character who hadn't had the killer make a comeback at the beginning of this, and all these women are older, they're middle-aged and older, because all this stuff happened in the 70s and 80s, right?
Right.
So towards the beginning of the book, they find out one of the final girls has been killed. She finally got her sequel. And then other final girls become targets. And Lynette, who she's so wonderfully written, like, because there are points that are like, I can't tell if she's crazy or if she's the only sane person here. She's going through trying to warn people, trying to warn the other girls and the people they're friends with that someone's after us, someone has tracked us down. This is not just about one final girl. And for different reasons, they don't believe her, then they do believe her, then they don't believe her. And it is this wild, it's more of an action adventure story, really, than horror, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, there are some horrific scenes described. Most of them are in the past because, you know, it's based off slasher films, which is a very gory genre of film. But it struck me as more of that thriller, action adventure, like heart pounding kind of thing. So I would definitely recommend it. Even if you're not a fan, like I said, of the genre, if you're a fan of strong female characters, this book has them like in spades. There are so many strong female characters, and it deals, the thing that I'm beginning to like about Grady Hendrix books is he knows how to weave in themes that give them a lot more depth than just, oh, that was spooky, let me go. And in this, it deals a lot with trauma and how we deal with trauma and learn to move on and rebuild our lives. So it is a great read for that. We're going to talk about how to sell a haunted house soon. And
in the next couple of weeks anyway. If not next week, the week after.
Hopefully by then I will have decided which of these is my favorite, but right now I can't.
All right. Sounds great. Well, come have some wine with us. Pick up a good book. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you're reading. Right? Till next time.
Bye. Guys.